I'm Steve Busfield. I work for The Guardian, and I am the co-author, editor of The Wire Re-Up, which is The Guardian's book about The Wire. People who know The Wire and know The Guardian know that we are slightly obsessed by it, and in fact have been running a blog about The Wire. And the book is a collection of blogs that we've written and the features and interviews that we've done about The Wire, but it's also the words written by the people who've come on to our blogs and what they think about The Wire. So whilst my name and Paul Owen's name is on the front of the book, actually there are about 200 authors to this book for the people who regularly come onto the blog and said interesting, fascinating things. It's not a strict, this is what happened, here's an episode by episode guide. What it is a discussion about the themes and ideas in it. You know, sometimes they're very highbrow and discussions about the legalisation of drugs, or or whether the educational streaming system works. And sometimes it's just discussions about who's your favourite character, what's your favourite comedy moment, whatever. So actually what it is, rather than a strict guide, is here are the pub conversations you would have about the programme. But we have been incredibly lucky that the people who have joined the debate have been fascinating and interesting and said some extraordinary things, and my understanding of what the programme has been about has been greatly enhanced by it. But my very favourite comment from the entire book is a character called Stockholmer, and I'll let his words speak for himself. On a separate note, I would like to ask if any other OGs, organ grinders, suffer from wireisms. I work in a semi-open plan office of a typical office droid, amongst about 100 others. My boss is a huge Wire fan, as is the guy who sits in front of me, along with the guy who sits a couple of desks away. My issue is this: since the four of us realise we are such huge fans, our lingua franca has adopted thus. At any time during the working day, one of us will head to the kitchen to re-up on a coffee from the Connect, the little old Swedish lady that drops off the coffee and tea bags. The CEO and GM and any other empty seats are now collectively referred to as the bosses. The operations director is obviously the deputy ops. The younger or newer members of the office are seen as hoppers, shitbirds or mopes. The accounts department over across the way is now the eastern, while our department is the western. When the phone begins to ring, we debate who's up. The courtyard we share with the other firms that work in our inner city office is the project. We have seriously debated moving a battered orange couch in there. A trip to buy lunch from the deli is called a rip and run. And when an item of stationery is misplaced, it predictably becomes a stone fucking whodunit. I perpetually annoy the non-wire watchers in my department by asking, "You happy now, bitch?" It just makes me laugh every time that that there's a bloke who clearly has a job that he hates in a place that he doesn't like very much, who's made his life a bit better by adopting the language. So it's the Wire Re-Up by Guardian Books, edited by myself, Steve Busfield, and Paul Owen, and it is $8.99. It's available in bookshops, but I think most people have been buying it online at the Guardian Books website or at Amazon.